Yeah, that was it. Okay, we're good now. And we're in. All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is the first episode, hopefully of many, of the Robot Mentality podcast. And as you guys know, I'm already Ben. I'm here with my boy Nick. Nick.
Oh,
Hey.
what's
I don't
good?
know what just happened, but we're
We
already
go.
live and I already
We're live.
introduced myself, so it's your turn.
Yo, and I'm his co-host,
Let's
Nick. What's good?
go.
This is Robot Mentality,
That
podcast
was
one
really
of
bad.
many. Let's
Hey,
go.
that's the best intro we could have had, anyways.
Gotta start
I
somewhere.
gotta add everyone.
All right, tell the boys we're going.
So, I mean, the for people that I guess nobody knows, but kind of the intent of this is just something to get our feelings off our chest, but what a lot of people our age really need to hear, I think, and in a lot of directions, whether that be, you know, controlling your finances, make creating your own thoughts, physical health, your mental health, and that's kind of something that to us is what robot mentality means. It's just the grinder mentality to just kind of go out and get it. I mean, Nick, you
I'll
could
tell a little
provide some
story.
more thoughts on that.
Yeah, a little story on Robot Mentality. So, me and Ben, we're both with it for our age, where we're at in life compared to our peers. I would say that's not being cocky. That's just honest. But so we were talking at the beginning of January about doing productive things. Like me, I was saying I want to read, I want to work out every day. I was working out a decent amount at the time, and then Ben, who is a hot yoga addict, very difficult. I've been to it before and I hated it. And he's like, well, why don't you just do hot yoga with me for, he said, a month. Try it 3 days a week for a month. I was like, I can't do it. Then we're just talking in our conversation. Then all of a sudden he's saying all these like stupid little one-liners. Scared money don't make money. Something about
It's
hustling. I don't know.
true.
And,
It's
and then
true.
he's just rattling them off, and then one of them he goes robot mentality, and then like it was like a light bulb
I don't
moment
think
went
I
off
said
in my
scared
head.
money don't make money until after we
It,
had that
well,
conversation.
it was just dumb stuff like that I
That's not
never listened
that's
to.
not dumb.
Well, I mean, it was a good conversation, but yeah, then robot mentality, boom, and I'm like, yo, robot mentality, that makes sense. I tell myself I want to do all these things. I tell other people I want to do things, but when it comes down to it, I don't do it. And then
Yeah.
you just think about it like a robot, or any machine really. Like they're programmed to do something.
It's
You program it,
automated.
it's automated. There's
Yeah.
no feelings involved. There's no being
It's
tired.
just something
If
you
you tell
do.
your alarm clock to get up at 6 a.m., it's getting up. So we got off the phone. It was like 11 o'clock that night, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m. And I texted him. I said, robot mentality. And then so I went to bed, and then my alarm clock went off at 6, and I'm like a habitual snooze presser. I'll press snooze like 4 times. Open my eyes, first flash, robot mentality. Boom, jumped out of bed, texted Ben, robot mentality, and then I went and worked out. And then like
Yeah.
I stuck with that habit of doing yoga for weeks, and now I'm
You're
going like
you're
I got a
getting back
habit for.
into it eventually.
Yeah, it's $140 a month, and I don't think that goes along with my mission of people being
Eventually you'll get
financially.
back into it.
Maybe when we're making
Hey, if
passive
that
income
if that
streams.
$140 gets your physical body in the position to be grinding and making money and the mentality, I mean that's the way I view it because it's
If
just
that's
I just feel like I could do anything because of
if
freaking yoga. So
if that's what it is, you totally go for it. For me, if I'm in the gym already an hour, like, and then I work 8 hours a day, so if I go do yoga, that's another 2 hours.
fine when
And I'd
we
rather do
have,
daylight hours.
which I guess we shouldn't really get into any of our business venture on this, but when we have passive cash flow coming and you're not working 8 hours a day, your ass better be in there.
Absolutely, I would definitely be open to that because I did love it. It was
Yeah,
very nice, but like the time and money commitment for where I'm at
yeah,
right now, just I can't
I got you.
justify it.
Yeah,
But no, that was a good time.
maybe a one-off community now and then since you have a mat,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah, I do have the mat.
So I mean, one thing we kind of have a couple talking points, main things we want to hit in this, and that's kind of going to be the structure for this. A lot of the time, like I said, a lot of more life geared stuff and how that relates to kind of the world around you. Maybe what's in the news or things like that. But so this kind of a podcast is going to be it's going to be a bit of everything. maybe we're not gonna have like a title on what we're talking about for the day on the stream. It's kind of when you come in, it'll be different, right?
Just be prepared to hear our
Um,
interests.
yeah, it will be a lot of stuff, but we really do think the robot mentality is something that a lot of people, especially our age, if you're a teenager to somebody coming out of college, I mean, it's useful for anybody, but specifically that time frame, like training
In one
yourself to set yourself on a successful path, or at least a path where you're motivated to go do things. And if you fail, I mean, that's just learning. So, um,
in one sentence, robot mentality, what is it?
if I had to define it, I
Yeah,
think it's the act of grinding.
the act of grinding.
Yeah. And by grinding, I just
We're
mean it's
not
like,
talking at
I mean,
prom.
I mean you're educating yourself wherever you can. You're physically pushing your body to be in the best shape you could be. I mean that kind of goes along with mentally as well. If you're in really good shape and constantly push yourself, that really does a lot for your psyche.
Hmm.
And then I mean, learning it could be more of an institutional thing where it's actually in school, but I mean, with me, like, and it might be stuff that's not always necessarily going to be useful to what I'm doing now, but I do feel like I'm always trying to learn something. I'm always on YouTube watching something about psychology or something about, I mean, right now, like stuff about options trading or stuff, like,
Hmm.
it's just like
Yeah, definitely.
one to get yourself out there and actually grow yourself a little more. And I guess I watch a lot of politics too, but
I think part of what it's done for me recently is just realizing that out there are millions of opportunities to learn and become better as a human being,
especially in the United States.
and the time that I was spending, whether it's gaming
Yeah.
or, just sitting in bed watching dumb things, napping, sleeping in, stuff like
No
that, like
naps.
it's just
No
like sometimes I just have
naps.
to tell myself like why would I
Yeah.
want to sleep when I can
Yeah.
live? And
Well, it's like, yeah, and
takes a while to get to that
I
spot.
mean, Nick knows me, and I was a really big gamer for a long time, and I kind of had that epiphany as well. And I'll hop on and play stuff every now and then. I don't have anything against it, but it's just there's other stuff I need to do in my life right now. So, um, yeah, but
That
like
is
it's just like, and especially now when you're young, when you have energy, when you can get out and grind, and it
before you
doesn't
have the
have a
coronavirus.
physical before you have the coronavirus. Um, if you get out and grind now in your younger age, you could set yourself up to where you can have, whatever amount of leisure time you'd want. Think not that that's what I want, but I'm just saying, like if you get out and grind and build yourself, businesses, educate yourself, and that doesn't even have to be college. There's a ton of stuff you can learn online, like and businesses are starting to realize that. Like Elon Musk said recently with Tesla, they're hiring people that don't even have high school degrees if you could pass their coding tests. They don't care. If you're smart, I mean, you can go make a
Smart
lot
is
of
smart.
opportunities for yourself. So, um, but yeah, that's something that a lot of people need to just. It would help a lot of people. It'd make the world a better place if we're kind of living by this mentality. But one thing about Nick and I, and more so Nick, I'm newer to it, is getting into finance. I mean, for me, that just means putting some money in a stock account and messing around. But for him, it's budgeting, it's controlling his spending, it's things like that. So, and that's kind of led us into. I mean, this week has been
This week has been
technically
crazy in the
technically
stock
the
market.
worst week outside of like some of the '08 stuff, right? As far as
If you go,
the
yeah,
Dow,
if you go by point drops on the Dow, so today so it
it's
was
like
Monday or
1200.
Tuesday, the Dow was down about 1100, and then another day it was down 900, and now today 1100. So over the course of these 4 days this week, it's down
Yeah,
about 11%, which is a correction in the stock market. So a correction is anything in like the 10 to maybe the 10 to 19% range.
yeah.
I don't know what it goes to, but so yeah, we've definitely seen some crazy volatile stuff too. It's not like it's dropping. Like
It's like
today it
it's
was
bouncing like crazy. Multiple things I owned were going like I'd get notifications like up 5%, down 5%, up 10, down 9. Like it was back and forth a lot. It's just
And that
weird.
really just hasn't happened. And
Yeah.
so you have
So it's
the
freaking
total
everybody out.
stock market in the U.S. going down about 10% this week. But if you're looking at tech stocks and airline stocks, it's more like 15 to 20%. So where everyone, all these stocks were fully valued with how much growth we've seen over the last 3 years. Shout out Trump.
Yeah.
Um, it's really a big correction. It's the first one we've seen since the beginning of 2018, I
Yeah.
believe, or maybe that was the end of
Was it
2018.
like quarter four, 18?
Quarter four 2018, and there was
Yeah.
also a big drop in quarter one
Quarter.
2018
Yeah.
as well. That was the last time there's been a 1,200 point drop in
I
the market,
mean,
the biggest of
and
the times.
without maybe getting into this too in the weeds on this one, but one thing, the robot mentality right now, if you have your finances in line, if your eggs aren't all in one basket to where you're one of the people freaking out, which first off you shouldn't be freaking out. Your money's not going to stay down for forever. Okay.
Right, just don't sell. You don't
Second,
lose until you sell.
until Sanders gets elected, then you'll get screwed. Yeah, but you don't sell. Okay. Two, the grind the robot mentality tells you you're buying right now. This is a flipping shopping spree. You're lowering the average equity on your holdings. Like this is how you do it. So it's all about perception and
Yeah.
you don't even have to have a lot of knowledge to know that. Like I the amount I mean, you know where I'm coming from, where I've heard this. I'm not gonna talk about work stuff, but the amount of people like freaking out over it that
hmm
have tons of money. Like
Well,
you
the
should
the
you should know
reason
better. And I get that you have a lot of money, but uh, you
the
can get it.
people
I
should
don't
know
want to get too
better.
much into that, but yeah, you can
I
go for
mean,
it.
the people that are selling right now, well, they're obviously everyone's selling off fears of the coronavirus, right?
Yeah,
So the market's going down, global
yeah,
economy might slow down, whatever. A lot of the people selling are the people that are nearing retirement age that have not been wise and are riding too high of a stock to bond allocation here. So
yeah,
they might have 80% in stocks, and now they see, oh, 10% time to sell. I'll buy some bonds
yeah,
now. It's like, well, you just
yeah.
lost,
Well, you just
all the gains
lost.
you just had in the last year and a half that
Plus,
we've
the
celebrated.
day a working virus gets announced, we all know the market's going going back up. So I mean, it's not.
Yeah, what working
It's just
vaccine?
it's the mentality. Like you need to train yourself on this stuff early.
You can't be
So
affected by the masses because, like,
yeah,
even if it seems like everyone's preaching good advice, like we are, no one's taking that advice. Like the
yeah.
percentage of people doing smart things is like
Do as I say,
probably
not as I
under
do.
10%.
Yeah.
So I'm a buyer right now. I'm gonna buy some just SPY, which is just an index of the S&P 500 tomorrow. I got about $1,500 of cash in my IRA that I need to turn into investments. So I've kind of been waiting for a good time, and I'm not saying that the market's not going to go down another 10%. I don't know, but what I do
But it
know
doesn't
is it
matter
was
if it does.
growing, and it's we're long-term investors, right? But
Yeah.
like it was
Yeah.
growing, and I would have bought it tomorrow at if it was still growing, and now it's
Yeah.
down 10%. So let me
It's a
take the
shopping
discount.
spree. Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to buy some
I mean, that's
stock
how
and
that's how people
tomorrow.
make money on downturns. Is in a sense you're making money off the idiots that get scared. I'm gonna say my
Yeah,
one-liner: scared money don't make money. Am I right? It's the same thing
scary.
with real estate, and the people might take this out of context. This isn't to sound sick at all, okay? But I mean, people, if you want to get rich, if you have money on hand and you're say relatively low debt, have a lot of liquid cash on you, when a
hmm
recession hits, you can make a lot of money really fast. In '08, the people that had money, you could buy so many foreclosed properties at
hmm
super cheap, even nice places. I mean, things like that. So you kind of want to
Well,
be prepared for this stuff because it is a money-making opportunity. It's the people that are strong financially benefit from this stuff. All a recession's doing is wiping out the kind of some of the summary some I've heard economists say before is it's wiping out the bad businesses. It's basically clearing the market
literally,
of
yeah,
it.
it's
Okay.
wiping out like the people
So
who've been
and
foolish and
what
taking
what
advantage of things.
people need to understand too is any healthy economy
It's gonna
needs
do this.
recessions. That's supposed to happen. So people, maybe this will happen under Trump's presidency. I don't know. Especially if he gets reelected, there's a good chance in the next 5 years that there will be a recession. I don't think any. I think it's farther than 2 or 3 years out, um,
Something that you
but
said,
whoever's the president, say Bernie gets elected. I mean, that's not necessarily something to always pin on the president. That's just a natural cycle of a healthy economy. We're one of the strongest economies. I mean, you could say we are the strongest economy in the world, right?
I mean, I don't know what would be stronger. I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
China's considered the biggest economy, but I don't think they're called the strongest economy.
We've been
So
developed
I
longer, I
don't. The
believe.
U.S. dollar isn't the strongest currency in the world, but I know it's pretty sure we're at least top three. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
needed. That's something that has to happen. So a lot of people, it's scary how many people don't understand that. They think recession means, oh, we're completely screwed. I mean, all our politicians have screwed up. I mean, you could be the no matter who no matter who's president, who's in the Senate, whatever. I mean, a recession's bound to happen at some point, no matter
And you
who's
made a
there.
great point about. So I was talking to one of my mentors at lunch earlier this week, and he was telling me I was asking him about investing in real estate, right? And he's like, his biggest advice for me, he's like, it's not a bad idea. You don't have, you have my blessing to do it, right? But he said, don't stretch every single dollar to where you just have enough cash to make something work. And he said,
Yeah.
people that have cash will always take advantage of people who need cash, and that's just like
Yep.
what you were saying with the
Yep.
recession. But when there is that correction, people are selling that need cash. Maybe people, these aren't even retirement accounts. Maybe that people are just trying to put their savings in there, and then they see it going down, it scares them. You
Yeah.
don't really know what these people are selling for, but
Well,
you have to look at
yeah.
the flip side, how you can be a
I
shark and
mean,
like,
it's a natural tendency to be scared when you put your money somewhere and you see it going down. But you have to realize that it will correct. It's not something that's you know what I'm saying. Like
and that's another tip I have
that's
for
part of the
all you guys
game is you're gonna
listening.
see fluctuation. So
If you're young, start a or start an investment account. It's good to make mistakes when you have small accounts. So
yeah,
you're young, put
it's
a
good to
hundred,
make mistakes when you can make mistakes. Where if you're 30 and you make a mistake and you can't pay your mortgage that month, like things like that, you don't want to be in that situation,
like you
right?
can
So
read an investment book once a month until you're 30, and you'll have learned more if you start investing when you're 20 with $1,000
oh yeah,
by losing and
yeah.
gaining and just learning how you don't understand how a commission fee works until you do it. I mean, you can, but it's just like
Hmm.
it doesn't hurt the same way. You don't see it that and expense ratios, and
Well, that's
you
why
just got to do
I
it.
mean, my personal goal right now is within the next, I mean, by the end of March, I want to have a few options trades under my belt. So, I want to get into
Yeah,
that. Like, that's
that's
something I'm
all
trying to
new. I
learn
mean,
about right now.
I would call that. I mean, I think that's really cool. I don't call that investing. I call that,
That's
almost like
more
working or
gambling, betting.
speculating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call that speculating. That's almost, I mean, investing
Well, I
in
mean,
Bitcoin is
I guess it's
speculating.
not investing because, yeah, it's more flipping. I mean,
It's
you
calculated
never
risk.
really own, you're borrowing, but I mean, you still have to, you still need to I well, you still need to know about the stock because you're making your prediction. I guess you wouldn't
It's
invest in something
skill.
you know is going down, right? So I guess I see what you're saying, but I think it's
I
pretty
see that more of
similar
an active way to make money. I view investing to me as long term,
long term.
compound interest,
You're
buy
not
and
a day
hold. That's
trader,
I mean, there's different. I would be if I treat it as a job, but I would never say I'm investing in in
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
certain
yeah. I think
stocks.
there's a difference between flipping and investing. Well, not
Yeah,
even flipping.
absolutely.
Maybe flipping's not the right term.
Yeah, it's not. It's like, it's just active trading. That's what it is. You're
Yeah,
trading.
yeah.
You're a trader. You're not an investor, right? But I
Invest.
mean,
Yeah, I see investing as holding, and you know,
however you can make a buck to that, and then if you can make profit off it, then invest it.
yeah,
Put it in
yeah.
an IRA.
Well, I think that's the goal is, or that'd be my goal if I could have a, couple, even if it was one successful option a week, and say your margins, say if I was doing small stuff, I mean, 50 to 100 bucks, and then I could use half of that for a bill and use half of that to put in a nice dividend yield stock, spread it out like that. That would really build pretty quick
Quickly.
over 10
And if
years. I mean,
even if you only had a 60% success rate the first year and you don't
yeah,
even make any
as
money, you're
yeah,
learning.
yeah.
And I think that's what this is
If it's all
about, is
about
just
learning, then you
learning
could be the guy shorting Tesla and making a couple million in a day.
or losing a couple million in a day, as many of
Yeah.
them did when it went up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That was
That's
that was cool though, because apparently I very rarely check Reddit. Rarely. I used to use it a while back. When we played Fortnite, I used it for the one of
hmm
those subs, but I deleted my account a long time ago. But I'll go on like once a month to look at the front page, and I kind of hate Reddit because it's a very it's a weird platform. Like it's if you look at the front page, it's all like just political hit pieces of just weird people. Like, but On the front page, the day Tesla first peaked at like when did it peak? Was it not like or what did it peak at? Was it like 980 or
967 or something.
okay? So
Yeah.
the day it peaked, there's this Reddit apparently called Wall Street Bets, and it's mostly just people memeing about trading. Okay, it's not a serious sub, I guess. But one dude, I guess, posted that he was joking around that he was. I don't think he called it. I think he somehow shorted it that day. Maybe he did call it that day. I guess it must have been a call if it peaked that day. But his meme, all the contracts he put in turned out to actually come to fruition. He had a ton of contracts on that call, and his return on the transaction within like 3 hours was like 1.5 million. And what's funny
So
is
insane.
I don't know what platform it was on, but I don't know. I guess he was an experienced guy because apparently the dude had been a day trader, um, or is a day trader. But I mean, it's crazy. It's definitely it happens to people, you know. So
Yeah, my advice was something like Tesla and like just the market in general. You see these like big upticks, don't buy it when
don't
it's
buy
going
it.
up.
Yeah,
Don't buy it when it's going up. Buy it when I don't even know if you should buy it when people don't want it, but like it's almost like don't follow the masses because you think you're gonna catch
yeah,
on. Like view it as like a surfer. If they already see the tidal wave go by, they're not gonna try to get on it. They're gonna wait for the next one. Like constantly be looking for these like smaller companies, or even if they are a large company, something that hasn't seen their growth yet. See a new
yeah.
business that they're working in, like Nvidia a few years ago when they were working in AI.
AI.
Now
Yeah,
Nvidia's blown up. Like Tesla, I'm not saying it's fully valued at the 697. I don't know. I mean, they don't even make profit
I think
yet,
it is
but
right now. Definitely is right
um,
now.
it's sure going
Long term,
down.
not.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
if Tesla could be 1% of my portfolio, I'd buy a share. But if I bought one share of Tesla, that's
That's a
five
lot of
percent
money.
of my yeah, that's
Yeah,
like 5% of my portfolio. So
yeah,
obviously that'd be stupid for me, but it'd be fun.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, these tech stocks are getting hammered right now. Tesla
yeah.
down 12% today.
Well, it just goes to show, and we could delve into this a little deeper after this initial point, but it is scary. I mean, that's something that, and now it's coming to affect us, I guess, because there were like 15 cases in California reported today, apparently, which those must have been around for a while and just got reported today. I don't know how 15 happened in a place where it hadn't been yet at the same time, but um, it just goes to show you it's scary how ingrained we are on China. That something that happens across the world can affect your freaking retirement portfolio within hours. Like it really is freaky if you think about it that way. At least in my mind.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean,
I don't think that's a good thing,
as
especially when
and
it comes to things like tech. How
well,
reliant tech is on a certain country.
tech is extremely reliant on China. Some of the biggest companies are over there, and the thing is, like, the world is so small now. Like, you can travel anywhere quickly. I mean, they've had planes for several decades that can do that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like,
Well,
and
it's
then
the
social
internet that
media,
made
so
it
like all
small.
this news, like instant news of, okay,
Yeah.
now we know that there's five more cases in China. Like, oh well, you
Yeah.
multiply that by its multiple to get to where it's going to be in 2 weeks, and you're at this, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden then there's a few cases in the US, and it starts doing that. And now I think there's 50 cases in the US, but there's obviously more than that. There's no way that it's only that, because it doesn't show up for 2 weeks basically, and
Yeah. Well, that's the scary thing. Yeah, it's the 2 weeks. I mean, I just think it gets into the deeper argument of really how reliant should you be on somebody else? I mean, it has a lot of economic implications. There's a lot of goods and bads to globalization, whether that be ethically, socially, economically, defense wise. I mean, anything. Um, but I've kind of gone back and forth on the pendulum. Excuse me, I'm a little stuffy all of a sudden, but I've gone back and forth with my opinions, but I'm almost to the point where maybe I'm not anti-globalization. Maybe I'm just more anti-working with, I guess you could say, oppressive governments, just scary countries. I don't know, but I don't think it will ever change. I don't think any countries that have opened their borders will ever go back, because I think the cat's so far out of the bag that the average
and
consumer at this point relies on globalized
Who knows
goods,
how
so
much more
everything's
expensive?
cheap. I mean, you got to think like things. Yes, it would make things more expensive if you close the borders tomorrow, but it almost falls on businesses though. I'm not usually a guy to smash corporations at all, to sit and say corporations are evil, but this is essentially something created by corporate greed, and yeah, I don't think you can spin that any other way. That's why there's a need for globalization. I mean, I was watching something the other day. The newest iPhone, the cost to make the newest iPhone, the 11. I don't know about the other models, is $200 or less. That's known to be the
Hmm.
absolute maximum number, and they sell them for $1,000. So it's you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean that's. But the thing is, like, I can never like I think like efficiently and economically, like that's just like the basis of economics. Like if one nation does something better than you and more efficient, and you do something more efficient than they can do it, obviously you trade, right? And you work with
well,
them.
yeah, and yeah. What
That's
is that?
economies
Milton
of scale. I
Friedman?
think that's what
What's
it's
that? What's
called.
that policy? Is it Milton Friedman came
For
up with
some reason,
that?
I want to say it's
Something
called
like that.
economies of scale, but I don't. Let me
No,
see.
well, economies of scale just refers to being able to get your cost down as production increases. That doesn't have
Yeah,
an inherent globalization definition.
no,
I
it
could be
doesn't.
wrong. I might
Well,
have
it's
this name
saying.
completely wrong. Milton Friedman or something
Let's
like
see. I
that.
have.
It's been a while since I've taken any or um,
Yeah, I'm
like
taking
macro or
my
micro or
graduate
anything.
level
So
soon.
um,
Strong belief in free market capitalism. Numerous
well,
free market
but
theories and
here's my
opposed views.
thing though, is it used to be the original intent for that, or at least how I understood it back when I was taking classes on it, was we grow wheat better because we have prairies and
Right, it
better
worked in like
soil,
farming.
and
Farming.
you have a ton of bison in your country, so we could trade, right? It
Yeah,
wasn't because tell me what China does better. The only reason people are in China is because they have a lack of doing things better. When there's no regulation, when you can hire workers for pennies a day or use slave
yeah.
labor. It's
That
not them.
maybe.
That's why I have a problem with it. That's why I think when I say that, I say oppressive governments. Because I'm not anti. I don't know. It's tough. I'm not anti-globalization, but from a standpoint, I think you got to be working with the right people. Because China, and as brilliant as a lot of Chinese corporations are, okay, there's a lot of Chinese corporations that create good, great
Hmm.
things, whatever, just like anywhere else. But it, our open border policy is it because they're doing something better? It's because they have a lack of something, and we take advantage of that. And I don't think that's a healthy relationship, and it shows with the Corona thing.
How so? Just because
Just because
it's bogging
what?
down
Okay,
our
so what
entire.
happens if China says tomorrow? Because a lot of people would consider us in a cold war with China right now. They have a lot of leverage over us because they control everything from our tech to our food to I mean a lot of stuff is we'd have I don't know if we'd have famines if China cut off relations with us tomorrow, but like that a lot of consumer goods, I mean your cars you drive, like everything. It's crazy. But so say, and I do believe we are in a cold war with China because if something went wrong tomorrow, the leverage they have, like I just mentioned, and a lot of people don't know, and I don't remember the exact figure offhand, but they hold trillions of U.S. dollars. They
Yeah, I
could they
have
could
heard
flood
that.
our market tomorrow if they wanted to release that. The dollar
And
would
that's
be
such a
worthless
weird
if they
thought.
threw that in. Well, it's because over time there's no regulation and people buy up, hold as many U.S. dollars over there as they can. Because think about that. One thing I was watching yesterday was I'll have to link you to. But this lady was talking about how China's government is focused on playing the long-term game. Okay, the people in office now are thinking about the people that are going to be in office 3 generations from now and what leverage they can create over the world for those people for the long-term goal of China and honoring China, right?
Mm.
I mean, it's freaky. If we went to war with China tomorrow, they wouldn't even have to fight us. They'd destroy us from the inside because they could cut us off. Then everybody's running around freaking out because they have no money because all their portfolios just crashed. And your money in your portfolio is worthless anyways because they could make the dollar worthless tomorrow. I mean,
But
that's
there's
serious, and that's a problem. And what's funny is, and people that know me, I am by no means a Trump fanboy. Okay, I've probably more of a libertarian when it comes to a lot of things, but there's stuff I pull from both sides. I mean, lean a little more conservative in some areas, but a little more progressive in others. But if Trump came out and said, "Hey, we're literally going like if he went, I think he went in on China in a good way. Okay, he started with this trade thing. Um, sorry, I'm laughing at something I see. I can't say it right now. He started with this trade thing because if he went, it's his amount of pressure he puts on has to be weird. Because if you piss China off to a certain extent, then things get bad. But I think Trump, out of all people, realizes the problem we have with the reliance and the leverage China has over us and practically controlling us. I mean, so he's trying to attack it in an aggressive yet subtle way, if you ask me. And I think that's pretty honorable. That's one thing that's good about him. Um, it just he sees the vision for what's going on. He's the only one with the balls to attack it. He's gotten sliced by, I mean, both
everyone.
parties.
Yeah, everyone hates him.
So it's I do think that is honorable though. But one thing this resource, which I'll link you to after the podcast, but was talking about. I mean, it's crazy how ingrained this woman was talking about. I can't remember all her examples, but I mean, from the amount of real estate the Chinese own in the U.S., from I mean,
All
practically
those nail
all of
salons.
Hollywood. Shut, shut up. That's those are Thailand.
Those are owned by mob bosses,
Yeah,
money
yeah,
launderers.
yeah. From the amount of money that China has in Hollywood and movies that get changed because the Chinese funding doesn't like what's in the movie. Like this lady brought up an example of in Doctor Strange. Did you watch Doctor Strange? You're not a
Uh-uh.
Marvel guy, are you? Okay, so
No.
there's this this master type character. Um, Doctor Strange trains with her. I don't remember the whole exact storyline. I don't know their names either. That's one of the few movies where I don't know all the character names. But so this person he trains with that teaches him all his powers of sorcery was originally supposed to be a Buddhist, I believe, like a Buddhist type character, a practicing Buddhist, right? And the Marvel people try to make the movies, somewhat like the comics, so they wanted to roll with that. But the Chinese backing made them pull it and put in this white chick instead, this white bald chick,
That's
because
hot.
they don't like Buddhism in China. So it's 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 things like that. And she was giving other examples of. I mean, that's scary when your entertainment's controlled by what China wants to see or not see. It's not good, especially
Yeah,
with
they have
how
a bigger
freaky
goal
oppressive
than
their
any of us
government is
realize.
from the biotech, from the organ harvesting, the slave labor, the tracking everybody, and they have the facial recognition technology cameras everywhere that always sees what you're doing
It's
when you're doing it,
really just a completely
censoring speech,
anti-US.
watching all your internet stuff, curfews, telling you what hours of the day you could be out, what hours of the day you can't, and just anti-life when very very abusive and killing people, killing animals on the streets. Like it's not a good place to be controlled by. So
Yeah, it's like
obviously
it's
there's
it's
positives. I'm not knocking the Chinese people at all. It's the Chinese government is scary. So any thoughts on that?
I really just I mean, I'm not well versed in global politics really, so I don't
Yeah.
want to talk too out of pocket here, but it really just sounds like, like the anti, like the villain to the United States, really like
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
the complete
what I
opposite.
heard recently too is not my quote. I'm quoting somebody. Um, if the free world does not change China, China will change the free world.
Yeah,
Which that's a good
absolutely.
way to look at it. Because they already are. I mean, I don't know what else they own of other economies, but I guarantee you they have a strong foothold in the British economy and German economy, all over Asia's economies like Japan. I guarantee it. And that's scary. It's them playing the long-term game subtly. I mean, of course, nobody ever wants another world war to break out, but it's the idea that they could crumble you from the inside without fighting is what's scary, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
can. What's funny is the only way people get into this is with Huawei, because Huawei is pretty much banned all over. It's a Chinese company, and people don't want Chinese making our 5G and our defense tech because they could essentially have control to our
They could just
all our
censor it. Well, not
infrastructure.
necessarily censor everything, but they could monitor
They can
everything. And
monitor everything, but I mean, people attack Huawei, but it's weird because they're infiltrating in other ways. I mean, you could go on the internet right now and find a lot about TikTok and the data that's saved from TikTok when some kid makes a video, the facial recognition stuff TikTok's saving of the video you make, the always tracking your phone, which a lot of apps do that, but always know where you are. I mean, they're finding subtle, clever ways. I genuinely think TikTok is a complete psychological think tank idea of how to get kids addicted to it to draw data
I
on
mean,
them.
that's how almost all
I
things,
mean,
like
but
even
but
like with
it's scary.
Fortnite, they use
But it's different.
developers for.
It's different when psychological think tanks are intent to make money, or when a think tank's just there to literally get intel. Like that's a big difference.
Yeah, that is true, and
They're
it
controlling
just
the
makes you wonder.
economy. They're controlling the youth. I mean, it's insane.
I just don't think the world we're starting to live in is it's everything's doing that. Whether it's advertising is monitoring us so
No,
they can send us
yeah, I
specialized
agree with you,
ads.
but it's different when it's
I
different.
know when they're using it as intel to dominate the world, right? But it leads to like the question for me, like at what point are we as a society going to stop caring or fighting for privacy?
Yeah.
It's because I'm already
Well,
to
it
the
seems
point to
like there's
where
kickbacks at times. Like you'll see these big headlines with
there
lawsuits,
are,
and then they
but
all kind of just fizzle out.
it always fizzles out and it always goes a little bit like it's not always drastic, but it'll the corporate wins a little bit and then they'll inch a little more and a little more and then all these websites have cookies on everything you do. Everyone's got those
Yeah.
crazy ads. They're like, how did they know that? I was just talking about that. Things are listening to you. Like
Yeah.
there's gonna be cameras on every single street lamp eventually. Like there's not gonna be unless like the US fights for it hard, everything is going to be common knowledge to a high enough level of government, and it really already
Yeah.
is. It's just crazy to me how if the CIA gets involved, they can have all the access to all the information they want. But if it's like our local PD, they're not allowed to. Like unless
Yeah.
they get like the CIA or the FBI in it, like there's so much information that they're not allowed to have.
Well,
And
it gets into
eventually,
deeper stuff like when the government requests Apple opens like a school shooter's phone and Apple won't do it.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's a weird conversation. I guess I could respect Apple for being consistent on their stance, but it's almost concerning that they won't cooperate in situations like that. But I guess that opens the door to every warrant somebody wants to search
Losing
the phone,
all sorts of
So
privacy then. Yeah,
yeah.
and then
I mean, I get it. It's a weird argument, and it's something I actually haven't really articulated my thoughts too well on. Um, but every time there's something that goes on, Apple always says, "No, we won't do the phone." It's a headline. I mean,
yeah, and for
it's
me, it's
weird.
just like I'm ready. I just want to be like, I don't even care. Like, yeah, take all my privacy. That just don't do stuff that you don't want to be made public ever, and then
Well, that's the
you don't
sad
have to
thing
worry about it.
is, I mean, but yeah, that's the sad thing because that's where the thoughts are shifting. Is that why can't everything public if you have nothing to hide?
Right. I
But
guess
that
not even public.
and
Just like
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing you're saying, but we're kind of tricked into thinking that over time. That's where a lot of people end up. Is
yeah,
that if I don't do anything bad, why should it matter, right? And
yeah. I
even
just
people
think
for that
the
type of stuff
illegal
will use
stuff.
that argument. I think that's really lame. Like you have a right to live your life, and nobody should have to know anything about it unless you want to put it out there.
Yeah, I
So,
just think that like if you're not doing anything illegal, you're gonna be fine. So why not have the creeps that are doing
well, but
illegal stuff?
it's but
Like
but
these dudes downloading kid porn in their basement. Like why shouldn't we be able to know everything what they're doing and like just arrest them on the spot? That's like the
Well,
conversation it
I
leads
don't know.
into.
Still, it's a deeper, it's a precedent thing. Like it's still the idea, even if you're not doing anything legal, but somebody can know everything about you. I mean, that's a security problem. That could at some point that could be a threat to your physical well-being. I mean, if
It already
a friggin'
is.
hitman wants to kill you,
Yeah,
somebody
that's what
always
I'm
knows your
saying. Like,
tendencies. If you're here at this time every week, you're doing this. You sleep at this time every week.
yeah, someone
As
wants
our
to kill you,
houses
they're gonna
become
have that
smarter, they
info,
know your windows unlocked. They can get in the mainframe. They can track the car you're driving everywhere it goes. I mean, it's a problem. So, as technology further evolves, it's something that's definitely going to have to be slowed down in some way. And I'm not a Warren fan by any means because she had a couple ideas at the start of her political campaign that were actually pretty solid, but she really degraded them to play with the field. And I don't give her much credit, but one place I do give her credit, at least for saying it, and she didn't have a plan in line to attack it, but she was really big on antitrust and actually getting real privacy laws out and making all the big tech be, what they take from you, they have to show. Anything that you don't want, they have to delete. Things like that, and breaking up big tech companies so you don't have these giant conglomerates. Because I'm totally free market, but I do somewhat agree with, because she was saying you either can run the platform or use the platform. There's no both. Like, so with Amazon, right?
hmm
This is a bad example because it's not really social media, but they still collect a ton of data on you that's useful, right? With Amazon, they run this platform that everybody sells through, right? Every big company, for the most part, sells through Amazon in some way. Um, and what Amazon does is they get to collect all the information, everything you could think of, from how many times it's clicked to how long you viewed it to what you looked at right after to if you ordered it or not, if you returned it or not, what color you got. Like they can know everything about what people like, and then they put out their Amazon Basics brand and undercut every price on the platform. You know what I'm saying? Like it is a problem because it scales off so fast. Um, which that's a bad example from a security standpoint. That was one of her arguments though was the Amazon thing. I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea if done tastefully. I just don't know how you implement it fairly to everybody. But it's the same thing with like Facebook and Instagram. I mean, I almost view, well, I do view social media is the platform of free speech these days, and I think it shouldn't be the platforms regulating speech at all. Um, but I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, probably your big three, right? You'd agree with
Yep.
that.
hmm
I mean, Facebook owns 2/3 of the world's communications, and that's not right, especially when they're the ones unjustly policing their platforms,
hmm
inconsistently.
Yeah, it's like
So
free
I
free
do
reign to
think
do
it's an
whatever they
issue
want.
because it comes to a human rights issue. The idea that you could express yourself, even if it's bad, if you're saying something stupid, people can condemn you, right?
Right.
But it's not Facebook's job to sit and, you know, so, and especially when they do it unfairly to different people. Like this guy I follow, which his name's Zuby on Twitter.
hmm
He's kind of like he's like a grinder, fitness, political kind of guy, all in between. He holds the in Britain he has the record for highest deadlift for a female, right?
hmm
Because he identified as a female as he lifted it, and that's what made it big. That video blew up,
So
but
stupid.
some of the people hate him for it, and some of those like so far gone people actually like supported it, which was so weird. You know what I'm
What a
saying? Like some of the
joke.
SJWs like legitimately like if you felt like a woman then it's legitimate. It's like
Can
okay.
we just like right
But
now just
but
change
he
those rules for
today got
people?
a 7-week ban for saying okay dude in response to somebody. And he
What?
didn't do it. It was somebody like roasting him, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't even do it out of spite, but it turns out the dude misgendered them and they reported he got a 7-day ban. Like, is that right? That you can't even speak. You can't even speak without being vulnerable to a platform banning you. I mean, that's not right when being completely controlled. You know what I'm saying? It is scary that a select few own conversation and own the thoughts that get out in this world. At least in the free world.
And they're just able to because
Yeah.
they made the platform and they have those stupid terms of service that everyone
Yep.
accepts when they sign up for it, and then that's that, and
But the
they're
thing
able to.
is, like, if you want to have any sort of relevant thought today, it's got to be on social media in some way, right?
Right.
You have to agree these terms of service if you want to use it. It's not like a choice. You know what I'm saying? So it's either you miss out on speaking in the modern age, or you give up all your rights. Like, it's not a good system, and that's why I actually am for. I'm very, very rarely for government regulation. I'm a very small government type of person, but um, that's one area where I do think needs to be hit pretty hard and pretty fast.
Social media,
Yeah,
just privacy rights.
yeah,
You just wonder how it even works though, because I mean the thing is like all these companies that are running these are all liberal
yeah,
corporations with
yeah.
Facebook. So it'd be nice to have just obviously a neutral site that let free discussion reign, but then I feel like where you don't have rules is where it turns into some like weird stuff
Well,
usually.
there needs to be rules, but you should also be able to speak. Like, it just goes down to a free speech argument. There should be free speech up until it incites real violence. Okay, and misgendering somebody accidentally, saying "okay, dude" to a dude that registers as a helicopter on Twitter is not like that's not violence. People say that's violence, but a violence is physical harm or putting you in the position to be physically harmed in the case of like yelling fire in a movie theater. Okay, where
Right.
somebody's gonna get some old dude might get trampled over, everybody run out the door, right? So and that gets down. I mean, people define some of the things that are violations as like burning a flag or child porn is a common one. Um, but you need to have rules around that and to censor that. But outside of that, if you want to say, I don't know, if you want to have terrible takes that say bad things, that most people wouldn't accept, you have the right to. And what's funny is instead of censoring those people, you should be putting it out there because you should let people jump on them and condemn these ideas rather than them being in the closet about these things. You know what I'm saying? Most people
Yeah, you
aren't for
wonder.
a lot of the say some racist dude like just truly racist. The majority of people are not for that. I don't think banning people does you
Thing is,
anything.
there's just so many trolls on the internet that just like
Well, yeah.
there'll be one dude with 10 accounts saying stupid stuff that it's like, all right, can we ban this guy so we don't have to see this?
Well, but
You know,
that's
it's
why
like
you have
everyone's
blocking and
websites.
muting. I mean, you know what I'm
I don't
saying?
want to.
Like that's my take on social media. I don't. I'm in no circumstance am I ever gonna sit and argue with somebody on Twitter. Maybe occasionally when I'm watching a Cardinals game, I'll just beef with people about baseball just to do it. Yeah, John, I mean, yeah, you definitely have the right to say it. I don't think it's a proper thing to say to anybody, but you definitely have the right to say it. Sorry, I shouldn't respond to chat there. I saw that.
It's all good.
Um, where were we? I lost my train of thought completely. I'm sorry.
Um, yeah, you good. Let's
Shift it
we're,
into quick
let's
conspiracy. By the way, just getting into the oppressive government of China. I'm not a conspiracy theorist type of guy, but I fully believe coronavirus was man-made. Fully believe it, 100%. There is no way it's a coincidence that this global outbreak happens. The first case is literally one of the some of the first case people that work in the biotech labs. The only biotech labs in China are in Wuhan, and that's where it broke out. Like, there's no way that
not
it's
the
not
Wuhan
fake.
meat
And
market.
and it's common knowledge that they do some sick biotech stuff. I'm not going to get into just genetic mutation, just gross stuff to humans, animals. It's not good. But and we've talked about before. I mean that essentially as a weapon, a disease as a weapon. If you could recreate the Black Plague, and no, I'm serious. It is that will be the future of warfare. It won't be fought with guns. It will be fought with you know inside jobs and because think if you drop the Black Plague tomorrow in the U.S. and it's something that even the smartest individuals couldn't figure out in 6 months, how much of the country would that kill off? I mean, it's literally the ultimate weapon.
Yeah, I would like destroy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm very rarely a conspiracy theorist person. I think the corona is probably a little. I'm not saying the disease itself is underplayed, but I think the amount of cases are underplayed, especially in China. I think the government tried to downplay it as much as they could. There's
Yeah,
no
like
way to this day it's only like, thousands of
thousands. They
cases
said.
and it's only a 1.1% death rate, but it's only people 80 plus that have died. Like, there's no way. So,
Is that what they're saying?
it's something like that. That's
I
not
know
the
I heard the
exact.
1.1 death rate.
They're saying
I don't know.
only a fraction of people under elderly age have died. I find that as BS. So it's just
We'll
scary.
see.
I
Now that it's in the
mean,
U.S., we'll
yeah.
see.
I mean, I don't now that it's kind of everywhere, we're getting more credible takes on if it's something actually super serious or if it's really just like an extreme flu. So, but it
It's
will come
totally
out in
different than
time.
the flu,
Yeah.
just because it has the I forget the acronym, SARMs or something. It's like
SARS,
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 yeah, to
SARS.
where it gets that extreme,
Yeah.
like basically suffocates you. I think by
Which
like
one thing I saw on Twitter, and again, can't vouch for the credibility of this, but right when Corona first got big, there were these Indian scientists. It was this Indian, I don't know if it was a college or what it was, on their Twitter account posted, but they found strands of HIV and AIDS in the disease.
really.
Yeah, so that's what led everybody to believe it was man-made in the first place. So, and that got shot down really quick. I don't know what happened to that, if people tried to get that covered up or
The
what, but
Chinese government probably
knocked
DDoSed
those
every
dudes
computer
off.
that yeah
Yeah.
that,
No, I mean
that,
killed them, not DDoS their computer, but it's I don't know, I digress. It's a very complex issue, and I don't think it's something that's going to be solved soon. Like I genuinely think that, I mean, here in where we live, wouldn't be shocked if in a month there are people around us in hospitals that have it, and we have schools shut down for weeks. And
yeah, there'll
I
be
wouldn't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
St. Louis is a major hub. There's gonna be a case here in the next month.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's 50 cases in the U.S., that means there's probably 500, and then if there's 500, there's gonna be
Yeah, and
5,000.
because like you said earlier, it's symptoms don't show up for the first 2 weeks, so you go and spread it and spread it and spread it and spread it, and then you start to feel bad and go to the hospital. But how many people did you give it to before you went to the hospital?
Yeah, and then you also have the 3 days that you just think it's a common cold, because that's literally
Yeah,
what coronavirus is. This is just a variation of coronavirus. Like coronavirus, by definition, is like the common cold, which is so crazy. That's why when this first was coming out, I was so like
yeah.
skeptical of it, and I still am. But it's the variation of it with the
I mean,
SARS
I
that
think people
is
should take it
killing
very
people.
seriously. Like, there's no reason to be
I
skeptical at this
don't like.
point.
I
I think you
I
need to
take
get
it
it.
seriously.
Resources need to be allocated in the finding of actual vaccination. You need to quarantining needs to be really serious. I mean, for everybody's safety, especially elderly people, because those are vulnerable people that have weaker immune systems or people that be hit harder. So
It's gonna be here like before you
it
know it.
will
I
be
mean, I know
around.
there's already cases,
I
but
think I think the U.S. will do a better job of, well, hopefully a better job of kind of
mitigating the
mitigating
damages.
it compared to other
You
countries.
just
A lot
don't.
of
I
other
mean,
countries weren't ready. One thing I found interesting out of all it's like 37 countries that have cases. Day one, Russia completely closed their borders from flights to China completely.
U.S.
Day
would never
one, and
do
they
that
have
because
had
Trump would
zero
get
cases.
impeached again. Yeah,
Well,
that's
but
that
people
is
think
kind of
that's a
crazy.
racist thing. Close your borders temporarily to keep a disease out. That's not a racist thing at all. I don't understand the argument for it being racist.
Isn't that such a? Have our borders ever been closed? Like, were they closed after 9/11 briefly? I don't think so.
Um, they had to have been. I don't know offhand.
I gotta
I'd
look
find it
that
hard
up
to
because
believe that
like
they
the
aren't.
just the thought of borders being closed. Like, imagine nobody can leave, nobody can come in. Were
Well,
U.S.
but
border?
they probably were for a short time.
Um, come on, give me
Maybe
something good.
not. Maybe from select countries. Maybe from the Middle East.
There's probably like bigger no-fly lists. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
I
think
don't
that's
know.
a problem. The people that give that argument, where it's racist to shut down flights for a month from X country. No, no, it's not. It's saving lives. I mean, other countries did it. and they don't have
We'll
any
see what
cases
happens.
now. So it's when Corona's at your door and the people around you have it, then you could call it a racist thing.
I'm almost like nervously excited for it to see like, cause it's almost like when you have
That's
like a big
terrible.
snowstorm coming. Like you're like, all right, let's see how many inches we
It's when
get.
the tornado sirens go off and you have to go down in your basement and you're kind of
Yeah,
like okay,
like
is this actually gonna happen or
like
no?
how
Like
much food can I stock up so I don't have to leave my house?
dude. That's what my teacher said that today. They're like, oh, you might want to start considering buying food because Italy's had cases and their grocery stores are wiped now, and that's only this week. Like
Well,
it
like
is.
you
People
already
go and
can't find
freak out.
masks. You can't find
If you're
face
a
masks anywhere.
consumer, what is it? Consumer discretionary that makes like grocery
Yeah, like
products.
the consumer
You're
staple.
jumping
Yeah.
right now. You'll sell your current inventory. Your supply chain is probably pretty damaged, but
Yeah, until 40% of the country dies and then you have no
yeah,
passive income.
yeah,
No.
dang.
I'm just not scared of it. I know I'm
I
kind
mean,
of
I'm not
joking about
scared
it
of
and
it.
kind of
I'm
I'm a
not scared of
buyer in
it.
the stock market, but I'm not saying that this isn't gonna be because it's just naive to act like nothing more is gonna happen. But
Yeah. Well,
from
the
what I see,
people, in health organizations accordingly should really take it seriously. People, even if you don't really believe in it, people should definitely be very conscious about who they're around, sick people right now, washing your hands properly, showering, cleaning your clothes, and just things like that. Just doing what you can to avoid exposure to germs, but
another thing I wonder is like viruses, cold season. It's in the winter and we're already
that's
coming
what
up to
people are
spring.
saying, yeah, as if it could kind of stop itself coming in the warm weather, but it's been around the world though, so I don't know if that's true. The other half of the world's in a different season, you know what I'm saying? So,
Mm, is it? Or is
well,
it
the
the
different
southern
hemispheres.
hemisphere?
But there's
Yeah,
cases in
there's not a
South
north. There's
America.
not a west and east hemisphere.
No, well, that's what I meant by other side of the world was
Like
north to
China's north
south.
hemisphere.
Yeah, but there's cases in Australia, there's cases in Brazil. I mean, I don't know how fast it spread there, but so I don't
Uh,
know. I don't know the full. Maybe it slows it down. I don't know if it stops it on its own, but you know what I mean.
yeah, definitely. Pretty much most of the world is in the northern hemisphere, other than
Are you sure?
Australia and South America
I don't know about that.
and like South Africa.
How many countries
Not like
are
actual
in
South
the
Africa.
southern hemisphere?
Okay,
Like,
so but
there's a
like
lot of.
China's northern hemisphere.
Okay, wait. There are 32 countries in the southern hemisphere from five of the Earth's continents. Okay,
Yeah, how
so
many? There's like 300 countries in the world.
yeah, it's like 296 or something like that. I could
Yeah,
be
so it's like the
wrong.
bottom third of Africa, the bottom 75% of South America, all of Australia, and then
Oh,
some Indonesia.
195. I'm way off. Gosh, 195 countries.
Okay, yeah, so about a fifth
Yeah, so
are,
Brazil, South Africa, Indonesia,
but all the
a
major, like
handful.
London, New York City, all of North America, Mexico, Asia,
Dude,
all of Asia, all of India. So we're all like on the same
I
season
wonder
cycle.
how this is spreading like Antarctica though.
What?
You know what
Nobody's
I
in there.
mean? No, I'm joking. That's
The little
southern
base
hemisphere.
camp.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's summer
Yeah.
there.
I guess
How do
we'll
they got
see,
ice?
But yeah, Australia,
So, but
Brazil.
they in the southern hemisphere, that means that they're coming toward winter right now. So that could even be worse for something like
Yeah.
Brazil.
With
I mean,
Indonesia though, we'll probably save it for another podcast, but I really want to talk about something about Indonesia, but it doesn't really
I know
apply at the
nothing about
moment.
Indonesia, so I'll have to
Well,
study it up
it's
before we talk.
you won't have to study it. It will be information I'm dropping on you and you can give an opinion. It's nothing crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. What a time to be alive, am I right?
It's fun.
It's
It's a good
fun.
time to learn and talk and
Yeah,
invest, and
yeah.
that's what this is all about. Let's do the that reaction video you want to do, and let's wrap this up.
Alright, we're 58 minutes. Do you want to wrap it up or you want to let it roll a little bit? It's up to you. Um,
Let's wrap it up. Let's
wrap
do
it up.
that video, and
Okay.
yeah.
So one thing we want to have, maybe eventually viewer sent in stuff, but we'd like to have just kind of, off the wall segments. And one of our segments, just kind of video reaction, article reaction, things like that. Just talk about it. Just something to just something off topic because
Something to
we
keep it
kind of ended
fresh.
up on the same chain of topics for a lot longer than I thought, and that went by very fast. So we'll definitely get into some of our other planned topics next time. But I mean, I guess we encapsulated
We
Corona,
got like what we
finance,
wanted.
globalization decently
Wouldn't
well.
mind
Which
saying
I'd like
screw
to
the
get in.
Houston
I'd like to
Astros,
get into
but
globalization a little more from different perspectives, but we'll save that for when it's appropriate.
for
Um,
sure.
okay, let
Yeah, I
me
think.
pull up. I'll bring it up on Twitter. I guess it doesn't matter if I show my Twitter at Robot Mentality, folks. At Robot Mentality. I was going through my bookmarks, cleaning them out. Do you ever bookmark stuff on Twitter?
What do you mean, like it?
No, no. It's something they added like last year, where if you click, can you see my screen right now? Or no?
Um, no.
Okay. I'm not gonna try to screen share midstream because I don't want the stream to crash. But
Okay.
so
Well,
if you
let me just
go,
hop in your stream and I can
yeah, or
see
just
what's
go to
on.
Twitter right now for
All right.
you on desktop. So you have your like response bubble, you have the retweet symbol, the like, and then there's like an arrow at the far right of a
Oh
post,
yeah.
right? If you click on that, you can send it via direct message, copy link, or add tweet to bookmarks. So bookmarks,
Ah,
I do that for stuff I don't necessarily want to like or retweet, but I want to have,
want to be able to
right?
see
So
it.
there's
Yeah.
probably some weird stuff in my there is some weird stuff in my bookmarks, just memes and stuff that I don't want people
Uh-huh.
to see. I would like, I guess, but I was cleaning out my bookmarks, and sadly, when you delete bookmarks, it seems like I don't know what's wrong with Twitter because I'll delete a bookmark and then it will be like there an hour later when I go in. So I try to clean them out, but I don't know if it always works. But I was going through my bookmarks trying to find this.
Are you sharing it with me on Twitter or
I'm
what?
gonna share it. No, I'm just gonna bring it up on
So I gotta be able to
the
see it.
stream. Well, yeah, I can share it with you on Twitter. Let's do that. Or I have this saved as a picture. Let me I don't know if I want to tweet this. One second, because I need to have it up for the stream. So let me figure out how I want to do this. Do I want to tweet it? This is the disturbing thing to tweet for people to see. Heck, I could put it on. Let's put it on OneDrive. I'm gonna do that real quick.
All right.
I'll just bring it up on my screen. I'll send it to you too. Give me one second. I'll be better prepared in the future, everybody. I thought I had the tweet saved, but I couldn't find the tweet. But I know I have the picture saved. So this is a weird thing to be pulling up on my my OneDrive. But okay, well you're gonna see. I'm gonna pull this aside. All right,
I'm rooting
I'm
for you.
sending. Don't look at my stream. Do not look at my stream. Sending you the
Okay.
picture.
It's gone.
I'll put it in Discord. Okay.
Yep.
I want to know your thought on this. And actually, from because I saw people tweeting this around, like, "Yo, why does this exist?" Actually, from a real standpoint.
I saw the Stephen A. Smith pick. I thought that was it. Okay. Oh, hang on. Let me pull my Discord on my other screen here. Okay. What the hell? Okay, I gotta diagnose this here. That's so weird. I had no clue what you were gonna show me. Okay, so it's got a peen pocket. Men's cotton long johns
Dude,
with
that's a 4 or
sheath.
5
They
star
call it a
item.
sheath. Does the sheath extend? Like, how long
I
does
don't
the
know.
sheath go?
I didn't even know what that
Does
meant.
it double
So
as protection?
I don't know.
Ugh,
But think about it. What if all
would it be
pants were made that way?
comfortable?
That's what I was thinking.
Do you need to wear underwear? You couldn't wear
No,
underwear
I'm
unless your
assuming it
underwear
is
had a sheath.
underwear, right?
I feel gay looking at this. That's a thick peen too. That's like there's some blood flow in there.
So
What the heck, bro? What's
I
I'm trying to
saw
think of
this, and I don't know. Could this catch on?
you want to brand you get them and brand them?
Maybe. Would you guys wear robot mentality?
What if it said
What do
robot
we call
mentality down
these?
the leg or down
Down,
the shaft?
down. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Racing
that would be
stripe.
great.
I would actually try it.
I
I
would
know
try it. It would be
that sheath
weird.
would get so dirty in there. Imagine like taking a. I would imagine wearing these to bed, right? Like
Yeah.
imagine like going to bed and like taking a piss in the middle of the night and then like just sticking your dong back in there. That'd just like not be good. You'd be making like freaking cheese in there overnight.
So, some cheddar. Yeah.
I'm not with it. I can't imagine how that would be
What if
anything
what if you're in a
practical.
locker room and a dude pulls up wearing that? Like he pulls his pants down, he has
You
that
know what
on.
that almost looks like? Imagine the dude being turned around. It looks like a tail.
A
Like, you know
short
those
one.
people who have tails? Yeah, just like a
Those
little.
people who have tails.
There's a
I
movie. What movie is
guess.
that? When someone has a tail.
Well, that's furries, man. That
Oh,
wear
it's like a
tails.
comedy movie. Like, it's disgusting. It's actually disturbing. I don't even want to think about it. But
Oh, I don't want to know then, but I don't know. It's it's weird. I don't
we
know.
could try selling
Could it
them. I
be
could. We could do some drop shipping.
could it be comfortable? Maybe.
I
Could it
think
be
it could be.
culturally accepted? I don't know, probably not. What if it was healthier though? It's securing the boys a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I
You know
was
what I'm
wondering
saying?
that.
Because
Like,
it's not good when you're just
well, because I wear like
chilling.
spandexy type underwear, so that means like 24/7, my dong is just compressed.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's
That
almost like
can't
it
be
lets it be
good.
free without like the risk of
Without
just
the risk to the
being all over your bed
testabros.
sheets, right?
Yeah. So I don't
I
even
don't
know if I
know.
could legally stream this on Twitch right now. But it's an Amazon item, and owns Twitch, so I don't think they care. It's free
Imagine
advertising.
getting banned
This is the
on
best thing you could
eBay.
get one of your boys for Christmas,
That
honestly.
is really funny, actually. I might actually start getting my friends that for birthdays.
That would be a hilarious Christmas
Just
present,
buy like 10 of
specifically.
them and tell my brother, yeah, Christmas present with my brother, tell him to try it on.
I wonder if they have different, not different size pants, but different size shafts.
They're not shafts, sheaths.
She.
It says US extra small Asian tag. Does that mean it has a smaller
It do be.
peen?
Oh my gosh.
Let's
It do be
go.
looking kind of comfortable though.
I honestly think it might be comfortable because it keeps your boys in place with letting that, hang.
Yeah,
That's
which is a
interesting.
good thing. But lets the main boy flow out.
Yo, what if we just made a business kind of like as a gag gift, and it could have like,
A
it could have
actual
like
practical gag gift
it
though
could be
that
like a
you'd like
banana.
using on the sheath as
You
a
could do
banana
all
print.
sorts of different things. Like it could be like a character, and that could be the nose.
It could be a hot dog, a carrot. Be crazy.
Like it could be a snowman with
Oh, I
the
see what you're
carrot
saying.
nose.
Yeah, yeah.
It could
You could have a
be
shirt to go with it, and you just
it
wear
could
those as
be like
pants.
a coat rack. It could like pretend that there's like a hanger on it or like it
It's pretty epic.
could be like Pinocchio.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one with an extendable sheath, right?
Yeah, if you lie, it's like
Yeah. Well, not even if you lie, you could just extend. You could have a piece at the end, pull it in and out as you want. You know. It's weird though. It's just this. I like this off the wall stuff here and there. When I see it, makes you think. It's weird. I mean, somebody's obviously somehow
third.
making money on it if they offer it. I would think. I would
I think
hope.
it's got
So,
26 reviews.
yeah, 4 or 5 ain't too bad.
I mean, that's such a different thing that like you almost like would just want to try selling it on Amazon.
You'd almost just want to try using it once just to see what it's like. It could be life changing.
If you want, I'll buy one. You can borrow it after
No.
me.
No, I'm good. It's weird though. Yeah.
There's
You ever
different
see just
colors.
like weird just items and you're like, how does this exist or make
Not
money?
really. I feel
No.
like you see some weird
I
stuff
run the
throughout
stuff
the day.
here and there. I don't even
That's just
know.
on Twitter.
I
You
think
ruined
this
my
was this
Twitter by making me follow all those card accounts.
well, 'cause you didn't. Do you even learn from them? Do you even read the stuff?
I mean, I have Twitter deleted now because I don't enjoy it, and I wasted time
Uh,
on it because I was scrolling through for a half hour to find a tweet outside of a baseball card.
well, you can mute stuff or set it up where you only see X amount of tweets. Or what
Yeah.
account were you looking at? Do you
Oh, I
remember?
don't know. All like any of the 15 that you had me follow.
Hmm. I sent you the ones that were spammier that I said to mute and just look at.
Hobby collector.
Oh, I told you to mute that one. That's the one that kills it. Yeah, that's a bot. It retweets things, so you'll get
Get
a
him
million
out of
tweets a
here.
day. Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. Hey, well,
Cool.
we made it. It's an
So
hour
first
eight.
first podcast. Don't know if anyone watched, but
You know,
yeah, we
that's a
got some
two
boys
viewer
in chat.
stream. I'll take it. And
Let's go. Someone says that
over
naturally.
time, we'll probably have a lot more stuff that we'll have more constructive stuff. We'll have more
We'll get
discussion
better. This
stuff.
is the worst we'll ever
It's gonna
be.
be
So
it's gonna be bad, and it's a learning process for us. So, but something we could enjoy anyways. you know. So
For
we're
sure.
not too
Like you said,
concerned.
at the least we're just catching up. At the
And then
very least, having
eventually, I would like to have people we know on as guests, maybe, or somebody we know that knows a lot about X come and talk to us, or you know what I
yeah,
mean.
for sure. All right.
We
Well,
can have a
thanks
sheath
for
expert on.
watching. Good stuff. You ready to go offline so we can get freaky?
Yeah, we're gonna start the podcast after dark, the one we don't record.
All right.
Yeah. All
GG's.
right, we are signing off,
Peace.
folks.
See ya.
Thanks for watching, guys, and this will be up on YouTube as well. That's the goal, always stream it and then post on YouTube after. So have a good night, and this is most likely going to be a once a week thing. So that's the routine. So we will see you guys next week. Very epic.
We love Fortnite. We
I
love
love Fortnite.
Fortnite.
So what do you think I was going to show you as our off the wall topic?
I figured it was just gonna be one of those dumb videos.
Sometimes it will be a video. I have some good videos up my sleeve for next week. We're gonna have to make the segment a little longer.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
we both need to bring a couple things to the table so we can get like maybe 3 or 4 things total that we'll watch together real quick. And we won't spend as
Just
much
quick
time as we did on
reactions.
this one. Yeah, hot takes, you know?
Or we could even like improv. Well, obviously it's all improv, but like just like make up stories for why it's, like make up fake descriptions of it.
Yeah.
Be kind of fun.
I'm definitely deleting this off my computer now.
That
And my
was so
phone.
funny.
I gotta show
That
my
was so
parents that. They
unexpected.
probably think it's funny. I got some
Guys could be like,
bookmark
how do you have
gold.
3 pairs?
Did you look at the tweet I sent you earlier, by the way? Why is it still recording?
Mm-mm.
It doesn't say I'm live, but it still says recording.